Oh, people just love attacking video games. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most controversial video games.
But guess what? They f***ed with the wrong country.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we'll be looking at the most controversial video games of all time. These are the games which caused massive uproars within the media due to their perceived questionable or immoral content. We'll be ranking our list based on the severity of the controversy, not on the game's quality. You'll see why in a second. Number 10, Death Race. Yeah, this game is nothing but crappy little pixels, but it caused an insane amount of controversy when it was released in 1976. If only they could see the video games of today. Anyway, Death Race was an arcade game which saw you steering a car towards fleeing gremlins and running them over. The dead gremlins would then be replaced with tombstones, which cluttered the screen and made driving difficult. Individuals called the game morbid and insidious, and 60 Minutes reported on the psychological impact the game could have on players. Sound familiar? The more things change, the more they stay the same. Number 9, Custer's Revenge. And here they thought video games were for children. Custer's Revenge is an infamous game which sees you control General Custer. Only instead of fighting in the American Indian War, you're committing sexual crimes. So, yeah, we can see how this would probably be controversial. The game's cover stated that it was not for sale to minors. This is before the ESRB, remember? But despite that, various groups, including Women Against Pornography, Native Americans, obviously, and general critics all condemned the game for its atrocious content matter. It was denounced in Oklahoma City and eventually discontinued altogether, with the developer stating, "The publicity was just so negative that it was interfering with our company's business." Aw, you can't make your pixel dicks anymore? Number 8, Leisure Suit Larry series.
What are you doing with that?
I'm sorry. Did you want it?
Sure, I wanted it. That's my candy.
Are you sure? It might help me find true love.
The Leisure Suit Larry series follows Larry Laffer, what a name, as he attempts to woo women and get lucky. While the later installments of this series are quite lewd and crude, that actually really wasn't the case for the first couple of games. Despite its relative tameness though, the first game in the series was a huge target for controversy. Many stores refused to sell it due to the questionable content matter, and the development company received a ton of hate mail for developing such a racy game. Despite the controversy, the game, like most controversial games, was a huge commercial success. Number 7, State of Emergency.
Report your security point while your vehicle is on fire.
State of Emergency was published by Rockstar Games. That's all you really need to know, right? The game is a beat-em-up which sees you controlling various characters who are fighting with an underground resistance movement to overthrow the American Trade Organization. Due to its storyline, the game contained instances of and cries for coups and political assassinations, and yeah, you know where this is going, right? Politicians denounced this game before it was even released, as they believed it drew too heavily on the real 1999 Seattle World Trade Organization protests. Number 6, Postal series. Postal was the hatred of the 1990s, and it arguably caused even more of an uproar with the gaming community and the media. Hey, we're used to silly games by now, but in 1997, this stuff was unheard of. The first Postal follows a man who has gone postal and believes that his town has been affected by a poison gas, resulting in him attacking an Air Force base and attempting to shoot up an elementary school. Oh boy. Both it and its sequel faced enormous amounts of controversy, and Postal 2 was even made illegal down in New Zealand, with players facing possible jail time if they were in possession of the game. That seems a bit backwards. Are they just skipping a step because they assume it's going to turn you into a criminal? Number 5, Doom. The early 90s were an influential time in the development of first-person shooters. However, they were also the subject of a lot of controversy, as evidenced by both Wolfenstein 3D and Doom. That said, Doom was by far a much bigger threat in the eyes of the media. They condemned both its brutal violence and its satanic themes, and it was even called a mass murder simulator due to its first-person perspective. Doom was again dragged back into the media spotlight in 1999, when it was blamed for the Columbine High School massacre, as shooter Eric Harris specifically mentioned the game in one of his tapes. Number 4, Night Trap. Night Trap is a full-motion video game which was meant to launch both the Sega CD and a new revolution in video games too. It really did neither, but what it did manage to do was draw a whole host of controversies. In December of 1993, a United States Senate committee discussed the ever-popular topic of violence in video games. Night Trap was the center of their attention, as they took issue with its violence and treatment of women.
It is a sick, disgusting video game in my judgment. It's an effort to trap and kill women.
The game was pulled from major toy retailers later that month, and Sega completely pulled the game from shelves the following January. Let's be honest, it really wasn't very good though, right? Number 3, Manhunt series. If the Senate committee thought Night Trap was violent, they'd probably have a heart attack upon seeing Manhunt. Both games in this series involve you hunting down various people and killing them in the most brutal fashion imaginable. The violence even made various developers uncomfortable, with a Rockstar employee claiming that they'd crossed a line. The original game was banned in New Zealand and was even blamed for someone's murder. Its sequel was rated adults only, one of the very few games given that infamous rating due to violence alone. And the Wii version, which contained motion controls, was somewhat accurately called a murder simulator due to the player's interactivity with the killings. Number 2, Mortal Kombat series.
Kano wins.
While the Mortal Kombat series has remained controversial through the years due to its extreme violence, nothing even comes close to the uproar that the original game caused in 1992. I know we've said this a lot, but at the time, video games violence like this was unheard of, and the reaction towards this game was so panicked and outraged that it helped lead to the creation of the ESRB, along with the aforementioned Night Trap. The series also garnered controversy from a variety of other angles, including allegations of sexism and racism, inappropriate TV commercials, and being blamed for various tragedies like Columbine and even Sandy Hook. Who knew a simple fighting game could cause so much outrage? Before we get to our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
If the sky fell on my head, I don't think I'd feel any worse.
Please, I'll do
Nobody
anything
likes
you
you.
want. Just
Don't
leave
be
me
so
alone.
serious.
Number 1, Grand Theft Auto series. We're pretty sure that this series has been the subject of every type of controversy imaginable. GTA was controversial from the outset, with the first entry in the series being banned in Brazil due to its violence. However, the controversy really started when the series moved to 3D with the release of Grand Theft Auto 3. Since then, it's been the subject of almost every controversy under the sun, including, but certainly not limited to, violence in video games, sexual abuse, graphic sexual acts, racism, sexism, drug use, drinking and driving, full frontal nudity, and interactive torture. Really, just think of a controversy and chances are GTA has been the center of it.
Well, you ain't gonna be chewing steak anytime soon. I just wanna get out of here.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.